Alright, got paired and had enough time to play the first move before I realized to press the record. We get d4, d5, playing Miov. I played 2 games and I'm down against them, so let's go c4. Things seems to be in order. So let's look what's up. What are we gonna see? e6. Exactly when moment I was highlighting it, it was done. Alright, so take, nah, go for a, well, Queen's Gambit declined, of course. Could go to the main line, play knight f3, something else. What would be something else in this position? I think it's very hard to justify some more other move than just knight here or there. Let's just go knight c3 and think about the life later on. This is of course the most played move here. c5 is also probably legal. It's going to delay chop. It's also probably legal move. Alright, so exchange is of course the most popular way. I could play knight f3. I'll go bishop g5. Something different. Is this the orthodox variation, like the old mainlands? The traditional way how to play the Queen's Gambit. Is that or called that? Alright, so now I think we'll bring the knight f3 in. This of course kind of signals that we're not gonna go for any f3 e4 ideas. Well, it's not at all obvious that we're gonna be able to transpose to a Carlsbad structure either, because of course they can now say either way. Because if I take and they take with the pawn c6, then we have the Carlsbad structure and basically this. And then, I don't know, we could go for the minority attack. Knight b d7. No, I think that's the main line here. So here it's often turns into some kind of a waiting game. In a sense that, well, I think if I wanted to take there, it was probably better to do it earlier. Less options for black. It is maybe doable still here. What I mean by the waiting game is that black's gonna do some useful moves, and white is kind of wants black to take here and go there. Their bishop is of course locked in, so will probably come out this way. And usually at some point you wanna just take here, and when he has committed here, the bishop getting out this way is no longer that much of a concern, because this makes some kind of a holes or weaknesses on the light squares that they can't fix. But the other downside, of course, is that they can take this way, they can take that way. Now black can probably play b6, h6, rook e8, or even takes. Suppose c5 is coming. Well, now white, I suppose, is kind of happy that he gets to take here in one move here. Black's gonna play b5, bishop here, c5 in some order. We could of course play a4 and slow down at least b5. Well, so another move we're not castling. Wonder if there is a way that they could exploit the holes I make here. Because they have already committed the knight there, so I feel like a4 might be an actual pretty good shot here. I mean, of course they can still play here, and but like the a4 is a lot bigger commitment if there is, for instance, knights coming to b4. Of course the bishop could go there, but then you have to deal with the pin again. I'll do it. I'll just do it. I guess the knight can go here, but like in some crazy way, it still try to sneak into the b4 now that I think about it. Of course, that takes 1, 2, 3, 4 instead of 1, 2. But c5, of course, is very natural. It's my center. It's supported well. d5 is probably not possible because of the boomerang. Bang. Bang. And take back. Knight does the boomerang. Bing bang. No, of course, if I take, then they take here. Not good. Not that the d5 is very tempting move, probably not anyways, but I think also fails completely tactic. So well, this is going fast into an IQP situation now that I think about life a little longer here, or deeper. And I'm not sure a4 is the ideal move against the IQP. Well, it does of course stop b5 with 10b and the bishop getting here, so it's not bad. And like I said, the knight is not super well equipped. So you can get the tempo on the bishop and stick the knight here. Well, anyways, why don't I move to explain things later? Because I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna take there, and castles is a move you have to do anyways. So I'm not super happy about the tempi, but on the other hand, maybe we can live with it. The question only can be, well, question is of course gonna be that where will the bishop go? Eventually I think it wants to end up on this diagonal, but do we go there straight up? Of course I could take here with anybody and avoid them IQP. But I don't particularly want to. If I take here with the knight, then it's super dry. It's a knight, like a perfectly symmetrical. I would have maybe the tiniest pull here because it's not so easy to put that bishop into the game. And we could sidestep the queen, put the rook in front of the queen. It would be like at least slightly unpleasant for black, with almost no risk. But let's take with the pawn. This is definitely a lot greedier. A weakness for sure. But like I said, the knight is here instead of here. Feels like it's... Even though there is the tempo and sticking the knight in front of the IQB, but somehow I'm not super worried about that. Like, okay, you blockaded my pawn, but we're not really... Well, sometimes the push, of course, is really good. Sometimes the push is really good. So he has the problem with the bishop here for sure. So I want to. There's other setups, but I don't know. I feel like I wanna just. I mean, I can get to the b1. I want bishop goes to b1, and the queen goes here. We build a battery, and there's two ways to do it. Just trying to figure out that there's probably no reason to go here yet, right? So I keep my pawn defended. I can maybe jump the knight here and have the pawn defended. Well, technically, even with here, we are kind of defended because of the implied tactics here, and the queen is looking indirectly with an X-ray there, or discovered check threat. So it probably doesn't matter too much, but somehow I also might wanna be on the e pawn. Unless there's some kind of, I mean, at the moment it doesn't look like we're gonna have any kind of a takes on either pawn ever. The bishop, I mean. I'll drop this way. Just so like maybe I'll go here, hit there, and there's gonna be some kind of a pop here. Like if bishop goes here, I jump here, they go here, and I don't think it's gonna work, but like maybe something weird happens and it actually works. But then the bishop was gonna go here anyway, so I don't know. It's probably a good one of those, like if I always tell that analyze your games afterwards, and you don't have to analyze every move, but this kind of moves where you had a big choice. I don't know if it was a big choice, but at least interesting choice. You should look at. I pretty much assume that this position has been reached before, and both moves have been played. So that's 2. That is 2. It is defended by 2. This goes for me though. This goes for me. Maybe I want the bishop pair. But if I jump there, then we can't play off the bishop here. But I'm not sure he's gonna go there anyways. I was gonna say here, probably plays rook c8, rips this, or even something like knight there. Of course, the knight could also go here. But I was thinking a little bit like queen e2 sidestepping there. Could we? Kind of sucks that that's attacked. Of course, I could push there, but then it's gonna be attacked after the queen move, or the knight move, the queen. What I'd like to have set up here is that queen is somehow, I get this in, and maybe somehow this in, like, let's say queen f3, without dropping the d pawn in progress, and be able to like play rook d1. Then the queen would slide here even. And then we would have all the funny business on the e6 maybe also. Like not only we're looking here, but also sometimes like here and here and here and here and here and here. Anyhow, what will they do? And do we ever want to actually take the bishop here is the question. I don't know. I'm jumping to e5. They did that. Absolute mad lads. So there is takes, giving him 2 isolated pawns. Does not look too bad. There is of course some funny business on f7, but I don't think so. Can't get here. We could chop there. I mean, is he gonna just play c5 eventually? Use the second c5 break. Made my entire center with c5 breaks. This is of course a nice knight. I could at this, well, I'm not sure I can actually. Because I did say that this is hanging if I move the queen. This would take care of that problem. But I invested so much money in this knight, like 2 moves. That would be third move. Would wreck him, but is that the end of the days? Well, like they say, wreck it until something. So if queen d3, c5, I think I have time to play bishop b1, and he has no time to take on d4, but he does have time to take on d4. c5, bishop b1, and then queen takes here, not the pawn. I was thinking that I would, if the pawn takes, I have this one, but queen takes. Trading, offering a queen trade. Disgusting. Queen here though. I don't know, h6, g6. Rook d1. I don't know. The queen has squares. Can't go here though, but oh well. I guess I could go here. Queen takes, take the pawn and be on the knight, but knight is already defended. They could hit my queen, and that doesn't look too promising. I guess we could start with the bishop b1. Have them with the idea that if c5, I'll actually chop here, and the bishop is kind of like in an awkward situation here. If you take there, then you have the double pawn, that the king side is a bit wrecked, and I don't know, we do something. And if you take with the bishop, I'll take here, and well, it's some kind of extra pawn. And well, like I don't think I'm gonna get through here anymore. So that's what we got. Well, is there any reason I could not threaten some kind of a mate? Alright, so they just say no. They are just saying no. We could go here. Is that gonna lead anywhere? I don't know. Or I could just bring the rook here, have everything kind of covered. Question mark. I don't know, I'll go here. I don't think I'm gonna get through there ever, the rook. So just dandy defense in advance. Maybe h4, h5 could have been a try to weaken this side. He can go here. Again, he can also probably go here and hit the b pawn, which is the downside, of course, of my weaknesses around here. I guess that drops some pawns there and there. So maybe rook b8 is not on the menu here. Queen here is probably on the menu though. I could drop here to defend this. Then he could go there. It's never easy, is it? It is never easy. Yeah, I guess the question is that who has the weakest pawns? Who has the weakest pawns? And this is still an isolani too. backwards pawn. He has two isolines there and there. Mm-hmm. Well, the queen does not need to be here anymore, does it? This has been plunked pretty good. This is pretty good plunkage of the b187 diagonal. I mean, I don't know, maybe someday we could still squeeze here and talk to those dark squares. I don't know how to get there though. But the pin is also a pin. So there is at some point we could take here, but I feel like he's gonna take with the pawn and fix the entire situation of his sad defenses there. So not 100% sure I support that decision ever. Of course, we are technically on the pawn here, but since the knight is hanging here in the takes, I probably can't take here. So either we defend the pawn with the rook here or some other way. Bishop, knight here, knight takes, bishop takes. Is there something horribly wrong, for instance, playing rook d2? There's some weakness to my back rank actually, probably. Knight takes, queen takes. I guess I can take it and then come back. I hope that's not enough. It might not be. Just a little worried about something like here, and if I try to take with the rook, they could go here, hit the rook. So probably now pawn takes. Knight here, bishop takes. I don't know. Well, I have to do something. I hope this does not instantly lose. h4 here would have been a perfect move at some point. I don't know why it's not being played. Not only it would be maybe threatening something someday, but also make a luft. So I hope I can take, block. So that's fine, maybe. It probably is. They'd have a rook and the bishop for the queen. Alright, so they defend the bishop. I'm gonna do the move I wanted to do earlier. It's not really threatening to go forward there, but it's a luft, and also the bishop is defended in some lines too, so I don't have to react to these knight moves. So I could even take with the rook here. Not sure if that's advisable, but I could. But also now I'd like to move the bishop off the back rank here. Could go here, for instance. I'm kind of tempy on this, even though there is a knight attack defense. Even though, yeah, I'm not sure this bishop is so great anymore. It's been plunked by every possible diagonal. But in the future, there could be a place for us instance on c4 where it looks at things and lurks. It lurks for the endgame. Is there ever a solution where we chop, push, and somehow the king side collapses? Alright, so they are definitely hitting my A pawn. Rude. Rude if you ask me. So the threat is something, thank you. Not unlikely to happen. Guess we could still go for the pawn here. Let him fix my pawns there and take here, and I'll chop here and I don't know. Claim that we are doing fine. I don't think there is ever any kind of sack and taking here. Unless there is, but I hope not. There is bishop here, but then we go here, right? Well, it's hanging. He could of course come here. Even with the idea to double and go for this, except it's already defended though. Oh well. If here, like I said, I'm gonna stick the bishop in there. And again, this is nicely actually defended in these lines. Hopefully. Alright, so they are definitely interested in taking my stinking pawn or putting the rooks in row here. I mean, maybe, well, of course, he also defends decent there. G4, H5 looks too crazy. I'm running out of time. I'll stick the bishop here. Not sure why, to be honest, but especially considering that bishop is just hanging in the queen takes line, which is kind of suck, to be honest. No, it's not hanging. The queen is there, but I guess I can maybe pull it off, right? Yeah. Oh. Alrighty-o. I wish I had some time. Well, I wonder how bad of an idea it would be to just take. It looks insane to give up the bishop like that. But I have an idea to stick the queen there and like have everything covered. Of course they can take here with the knight. But then he doesn't fix his pawn structure. And now this might be an actual threat. And some kind of a rook lift might be a threat. Oh, well, apparently I was completely wrong. Why did I not see that there is a move like bishop there? Well, shucks. Oh shoot, I forgot this move here. No, that's not a move. Then I can chop here and take here. My idea was to like be able to go there like after queen here, hit this guy and then maybe get there. Like double threat. But I did not see that I have this. Is that good? I think so. Anyways, I don't have too much time. G4 could be an actual threat too. But probably then this and then I can't go here without dropping this pawn. Defend, hit. If there only was like a rook here, I could maybe take and checkmate them almost. He could go here still. If I had a rook here and pawn here, I could like, and the bishop would, well, I don't know where the bishop would come in here, then I could take it. Virtual or fantasy checkmate. Rook here, my pawn here, the bishop goes here. I don't know why that would happen, or but it's It's a funny line. Reminds me of that, I want to say Petrosian game where he kind of sacks some queen, drives the rook around. Okay, so he covers these, which is true in a sense. Also, he kind of pins the guy here. Guess I could go here, but let's move. Oh, Gambit. Let's move fast. I'm on here. I guess he can play h5. I can also now put the bishop on this side. Also, this is legal move. I guess if there, I can go here, hit the knight and threaten this. Legal. Legal for sure. Knight here, queen here, h5, bishop here, rook takes here. Guess it's fine. I saw some checkmates there, but no, there's none. Rook takes here. Yeah, I don't think he gets the back. Alright, I'm just gonna go here instantly. Well, I suppose they should definitely move the king out of the pin now. No, they did not. Okay, so I'll defend my rook here basically. I'll defend my rook there definitely. Can I go here? Rook takes b2. Knight takes d5. I'll go here. I think I can maybe, like here. My idea is to hit there. Oh, but he's gonna be on this guy twice. I can take here and take here and take here, but that's a mess. Idea is that the knight is pinned. I hit this guy and that guy, so it's kind of double threat. Well, do you want to calculate? Do you want to live forever? I don't want to live forever. So I'm on the queen and the knight at the same time, so I think I'll take here with a check. There's not gonna be this move in the end, hopefully. It takes. I can't take here because of the in-between check here. Well, depends where the king goes. Suppose he's gonna, or should go to a square that's not gonna be a check somehow. I don't know how, like here, have some checks. Oh, he resigned. Is it really resignable? Because he does, I guess I end up with the knight up, right? Yeah, computer says it's completely done. Well, that was crazy. That was a funny tactic in the end. I thought it was a bit transparent, but there was so many pins and discoveries. So let's look at from the top. So modern variation, I think somehow like it's the orthodox variation, like in a traditional sense. These have been played by a lot of grandmasters, world champions in a world championship matches. The amount of theory I know there is ridiculously low though. I've seen a lot of games where this has been played, but well, now it turns into the orthodox defense. So here, I guess black has other ways to go around here. h6, knight bd7, b6, the Tartakova, I think. Doesn't go to Tartakova yet. Does it ever go a chance to Tartakova? No. Well, anyways, let's look at the knight bd7. I played rook c1, the most played move here. Queen c2 is another waiting move. See what black does. They took, which is kind of rare, but played by quite a few strong players, so it probably is not horrible. Trekubov, Aroni, and Kamsky. Apparently, it's some kind of a Trekubov specialty since he finds against Sokolov, Georgiev, Nikolic, Kenkin, Sokolov again, etc. So of course, I'll be happy to take here. A6, normal move. A4 is the most played move. And I think it's justified here. Like in many of these lines where the knight goes here and here, this is a big hole here. But here it's harder to get there. Even though my opponent kind of got close at least. It is a tempo here with the bishop, so it's not so clear. Castles is natural. C5 is of course natural. Then he took most played move. I took most played move. Computing white slightly better. Stat-wise, black scores slightly better. At least in the master database. Let's look at the leeches. Even there, knight b6 or b6. Black is slightly on top. My face is on your way, so you can't see that it's 44, 47, 44, 48. Stats wise. Here it's 16 to black wins 24. Not many games though. But it's something like maybe it's easier. Or maybe black has specialized in this line and knows it better than white. Alright, so here I was torn between decisions bishop a2 and bishop d3. But the most played move is bishop b3. It seems a bit weird to me, but it does defend this an extra time. Of course, in some queen b6, it's gonna be a tempo there. Does that matter? But here, you can, for instance, move the queen here if you wish for. But this is already defended. And then you are ready to play rook afd1. This is the setup you like. At least it's an... Even though I do also think that it makes sense to go here or try to put the knight here and get this setup here. So like a pressure here. Knight is here. So knight d5 is most played. Then still bishop c6. And then we don't take but play queen d3. Knight bd5. Also maybe, well, can't go here with the bishop because then it's definitely a fork. Rook fd1, just overprotect this and have this covered. And let's see if he ever goes queen b6, like trying to exploit the position of the bishop. I suppose we could chop here in some way. Then go here. And yeah, maybe there's something going here if something happens. Depends how he takes here, of course. Of course, he could also take here. No, but it's not at all clear. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here, which is the right. Let's see what Mr. Machine says. Knight d5 is the right move. Knight d5 is the right move. Okay, anything is fine. Apparently some random defend the bishop is the right way to go here, but let's say the bishop more normal, bishop c2, black defends the mate, and then we again defend the sticky bishop. This is also now fine. Go here. I mean, it's not super far away from the game, except we haven't taken here. Alright, so fine. This has also been played. Now the attack here makes my choices a little more limited because I can't go for this setup. Not that, I don't know why I keep highlighting that. Queen is not really active here, except, well, sometimes it has some funny business there. This has been played. This has been played. Black actually scores okay. Epishin Alexeyev. Mulebek, Kelesevich. White win, one draw. Of course, the two black wins have been like where black's outranks white by 100 plus and 200 plus points. So you have to be always worried of the, or take the statistic with a grain of salt. They always don't tell the entire truth. Alright, yeah, well, of course the draw is also where white was outranking the black with 150 points. So, and the computer gives 0, 0, 0, so it is probably even Steven. White has his own problems. Black has their problems. We have the bishop pair. But after g6 you saw that this guy was starting to struggle a lot there. Right there, I threatened the mate. g6 logical. Then the only game we are been following went bishop h6. I don't really see the point of putting this there though. I mean, of course, tempo and like you are on the dark squares there, but how do we get there though? I somehow thought I could have more chances of keeping the pin alive. But I don't know. Let's see, does Master Machine agree with taking knight bishop h6? It does agree with bishop h6. It's fine to what I did. Put the rook in the center. Don't think. I mean, sometimes you have the rook f1 support f push there, but I didn't think that's gonna work out here. That square is heavily defended. So how do we defend this? Apparently fine, but what does Mr. Machine do here? It fixes the pawn structure of blacks. Apparently taking with the knight is again somehow better. It's like somehow sometimes the moves just don't make sense. Like you just want to leave yourself a backwards pawn here. Isolate it too. Instead of making it all nice and tidy. But then maybe you have some problems with the set pin. Which happened in the game too. So yeah. You'll get some, you'll lose some. So this was fine. I was tiniest bit worried about some line where I didn't really see how black could get there, but and he probably can't get there, but like somehow he'd be able to play some move this and then here, and I don't know how it works, but or maybe, well, can't go there yet while the rook's hanging, so he probably doesn't have time for this. On the other hand, I don't also can't untangle the tension here, but h4 probably, like the computer I think said, is fine. Make the luft and then you're ready to maybe even trade and go here and win something and be happy. Alright, so rook fb8, e8, defends the bishop. Worried about the pin. I was also happy, defend the bishop, get the luft. Queen a5 looked fine. This here, Was not sure, but it was fine. Here, here. And if he takes here and chops my pawn, I was thinking that I have this move here. Isn't that actually kind of horrible now that I think about it? The queen is almost trapped here. We can choose which way we go. Yeah, this looks nice. I didn't actually see that the queen is... I thought like I saw counterplay here, but I would at least get my pawn hopefully back and this would be defended, but it's better than expected. King g7, mistake. Let's turn off the book. Bishop takes d5, mistake. I should have instantly went for the pin here. I guess it is an actual pin here and pin here. Some kind of a pin here. Yeah, maybe the knight pin is the most important pin of them all. Or the knight pin to the queen. And now we are threatening some kind of knight d4. Or, well, knight here, then chop and chop, 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 like in the game. This mistake. I saw this. I did not expect this to be annoying. Oh, we have some win here. Let's look at the game. I'm trying to not look at the... What is it though? What is... Oh, of course. So then, the stinking bishop is not really hanging, is it? Because we'll be already on the knight, so I would win my piece back. So I have a time to make a move here. What is it though? I can't take here. Oh, can we go here? Taking advantage of the pin again. It is that one, yeah. I tried to avoid seeing there. Blame it or not. Now if he takes, we just take here. And the knight is like perfectly situated. Everything works perfectly. Nice. And then I think we win a piece here. Question mark. But probably because the things are gonna happen here with check. Well, they don't have to happen with the check if the king goes here and we just take here. But yeah, it's I guess the queen is gonna always be pinned, so my knight is not gonna be in a huge trouble. Because it is definitely defending the rook here, so there is some technical difficulties, but let's follow the computer line. Takes. They just go here. Now my rook's hanging. The knight is hanging because the pin, but we can take here. Oh, not at all obvious that I'm winning here, is it? Knight c3 instead. Oh, why can't I see this move? It was defending this that way before. And can defend that way again. This goes here. It's definitely a little bit unpleasant pawn here. And it's an extra pawn. Someday. Bing, bang, bong, bong, checkmate. Alright, so bishop f4, mistake. Rook c8, okay. Queen e3, mistake. Should have played g4. Spicy. I was thinking this at some point. Maybe not here. Maybe at some point when the queen was still open and I felt like it's too dangerous. This looked logical though. They played h5, mistake. Should have played knight g4. Did I say this move line here? Maybe. I'm threatening this. I'm threatening that. So what does black have here? Question mark. Oh yeah, I think I was looking at some lines where they use the knight here. But I didn't really see it though. I think I just take here. No, I take here. There's no... I thought there's might be some potential back rank problems, but no, the knight is pinning the... or defending the rook, so this guy is not affecting things, even though it's covering the luft. Alright, so what is the problem here? Have to cheat again. H5. And if I go here, what am I not seeing? What am I not seeing here? Rook takes here, rook takes here. Bishop d6. How is this so bad? Or is the freaking queen somehow trapped? If I go here, keep the knight, the rook pinned. Oh, he says that works both ways. Fine. Can still take pick off the pin. Pawns are even. But computer says +5 for black. Because I don't know, white's position is just too weak everywhere. Knight is now strong. My knight is crap. This is happening. Can't keep both defended. Alright, fine. Let's not waste too much time on these lines. Okay, this was I saw the funny piece. Apparently I could do it already here. Because the knight can't take here. I set it up unnecessarily long. And the rook's defended, so I can just take the queen. Yeah. Missed the chance first time. They missed it second time. Then I've found it. In between, win a piece. Here, of course, the rook is not defended, but king goes somewhere. And we take the queen. They take here with check. There's no rook bishop d6 winning things back. We're up a piece. And hopefully the knight will somehow survive. And it will. Okay, so they have some actual problems here. The rook can't really defend the bishop because it's defending this guy too. So we're not only piece up, but we're gonna get something more. Alright, well, that was, I can't say good, but I was not lost in any point, so I'll take that. We were decently better at some points. Slight black advantage, this was the worst moment, -1. If my opponent finds knight g4, which was not at all obvious that it's a move because of the double attack here, which I thought is the point of my move. Anyways, thanks for watching and